I said that.
All right,
Let's do this. We're gonna do the radio install.
All right, guys. So we don't stoked to be here, but I think we all need to give a big shout out to George, because George won the raffle for the GMRS radio this summer at the picnic, and you already own the MXT 275, and so he put it up and just said, "Who needs it?" Aaron, there's Aaron, and so Aaron got it. So huge shout out. That was awesome. Really generous of you, man. Thanks for doing that. So here for George, and I'm really excited to install this on Aaron's rig with his brand new 37s and beadlocks. They look brilliant. So you guys, I hope that the ideal outcome would be, like, let's get a full installation done, and I hope that, like, by the end of this, it'll just make it so that maybe this installation seems a lot more approachable. It's not very complicated to install a radio system in there, but there are a couple, intricacies in doing it that hopefully, you guys can get a little bit more comfortable with the install, or have a better idea of what it's going to look like. And then when we're on the trail, we can all have comms and talk to each other. Seems like a good idea. So first things first, let me show you guys what we're going to be installing. So this is the Midland 115, right? Yeah, Midland 115. And we're going to be mounting a 3 dB antenna. So this is a radio. This is kind of like your standard radio. It has 15 watts of power. Controls are on the front side of the radio. And then we're going to be mounting with it a 3 dB antenna, which is this little 18-inch, just has this little 18-inch whip with a very small kind of like base-loaded coil. The nice thing about a 3 dB antenna versus something like a 5 or a 6 is it just has a much broader pattern, like broader signal pattern. So think of the antenna just being much less directional. So a 3 dB antenna is really nice when you're out in the hills or something like that, right? If there's like lots of trees and things like that around, let's say you're adjacent, or let's say you're going up the switchbacks on, I forget the name of that big drive down in Wyoming. You know what I'm talking about? Morrison, yeah, you're going up Morrison or something, right? Like, you're going to be able to talk to the guys up there instead of having the antenna be so directional. So that's what we're going to be installing on this, along with a coax cable that's, it's an NMO coax cable, and it's made specifically to mount in a 1/2-inch hole, but also a thick 1/2-inch hole, because, these ARB bumpers just have a much thicker gauge of steel here for the antenna or the coax cable to pass through. What we're going to do on this one, in kind of how I have this envisioned, you guys, is I'm going to go over the kind of the big picture, how we're going to install, and then I think we could have multiple people here sort of getting their hands dirty in getting, installing different things. Because what we're going to do is we're going to put the antenna up on Aaron's front bumper right here on the tab on the ARB. We're going to route the coax cable in, probably through, the 80s have a nice grommet right by the driver's side there. Route the coax through there, and then, I don't think I shared this on the thread, but there's a really nice spot to mount one of these radios in place of the ashtray on the 80 series. And so you can kind of just sort of with friction push the radio in there, in the factory things on the ashtray, kind of hold it in there, or that's the idea. I just called Mike and I'm like, dude, can you bring one, because it's going to be a very short part, I'm sure. We don't have one. I always forget when I get here, and then I'm like,